Just a little bit more of the campground. It's a busy place. There's about 40 campsites. And we were fortunately in one of them last night. Is that it does stay relatively cool for 4 or 5 hours before it gets really brutally hot. So we're going out for a hike again. We're heading into the Devil's Garden, which is another signature trail at Arches National Monument. It's at the very end of the road, 7-mile loop. Should be fun. Okay, this is the beginning of Devil's Garden Trail. What do you think, Ruthie?
I'm ready.
Ready to roll. Panthers on the prowl. Here we go. Okay. This is looking back at the entrance. We've only walked a couple hundred yards. And we're getting the morning light. It's about 7 a.m. is our starting time. We got some overcast this morning, thankfully. So it looks like it's going to be a beautiful hike, at least for the first few hours. There's 7 arches on this little loop here, and we're headed off to see a couple of them.
There are a lot more arches in this park than I realized.
There's tons of them. This is called Pine Tree Arch. It looks like you can, if not walk through it, see through it.
That's very cool.
That is beautiful, isn't it? Alright, we're walking into the midst of a couple of arches here. There's a fairly delicate one, long and thin. Landscape arch from beneath. Water break.
Water break.
Okay, so a mile or so in, the trail gets a little rugged. Looks like we'll be hiking up this fin here. In fact, there's a person up there for scale. Gets pretty intense. Scramble up these rocks here. Whew, that's quite a scramble. Huh?
Get better.
Oh yeah, it's just maybe 100 feet of scrambling over rocks, and then the trail starts up here again. And this is a scramble on all fours up this little chunk of rock here. And we are actually on the marked Forest Service trail. Don't screw around.
I think I have more fear of heights than you do.
Well, I think I'm getting over it. I think Angel's Landing at Zion National Park cured me of it. Yeah, it's pretty intense. It's kind of a sheer drop on either side off this fin. We're walking along. There's another example of a fin there. I'm sure a trail monkey or two has climbed out and sat up on top of that little node there. All right, here we go. Quite the trail, huh? Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, this looks like the fins in the canyon that we just came up. And we are in an arch right underneath it. That was the top of the arch going over there. big boy. I'm too close to it to get a good picture. But man, it's spectacular. Can I take your picture? Yeah. Where are you from?
From Czech.
Oh, Czech Republic. Oh, very good.
Oh, is it this little one right here?
Little Navajo arch.
Oh,
Oh wow.
it
It's
is.
fascinating. It's almost a cave. This is a separate fin. Oh my goodness.
That's kind of cool.
Very cool. So we're going through one fin and then there's another fin next to it, it looks like. Wow. How's your yummy orange?
It's really good.
Is it?
Sweet.
Sweet yummy orange. This is just an incredible spot. Sitting under Navajo Arch. And there's this little alcove behind it. Kind of between two fins here. It's like a cave with a very large skylight, I guess. Probably the best way to describe it. This is extraordinary. We're up on a fin looking down on hoodoos and other fins. So there is the trail mark. And there's the slope. Don't look down. This is one of those don't look down situations. Just barely hanging on, looks like. There's the trail. There's a rock cairn. Must be this way. Okay. It goes from developed to semi-primitive to primitive. And we're in the transition between semi-primitive and primitive. Oh, there's the arch. There's people under it. Double O. Oh, I see that. There's one big O. And then a little O beneath it. O. There's the little O. And there's the big O. Love it. Alright, so now we have come to Dark Angel, which is that spire out there. And the end of the loop, the maximum extent of the loop. And now we're looping around and heading down the primitive trail. Down into the valley. And more fin walking. Down through this canyon. Those are quite the hoodoo arrangement up there. Very cool. So I guess that's the trail over there. Early morning cloud cover's burned off and the sun is starting to come out pretty strong. It's about 10 a.m. We've probably got 3 miles to go and need to get back before the 103 degree weather kicks in. I guess this is what they mean by primitive trail. That's about a 45 degree slope coming down there. So this is the part where we got to scramble over a few of these fins down into a rift and then up over a fin down into another rift, and eventually we walk out through one of the valleys between the fins, and the trail from the map looks like it becomes flat at some point. We'll see. This looks dusty. Okay, this is probably the most dangerous part yet. a sloping rock wall. You're just moving diagonally down one of the fins here. And secret is stay above your feet. Don't lean against the rock wall. Stay vertical. Make sure your weight's on your shoes and just walk on down. Or butt scramble, that's the other way. You can do a slide. But here's the rest of the trail. It looks a little bit easier walking out here. And this is one very complicated juniper tree. Hanging on for dear life here. Coming through the juniper canopy. That's pretty cool. Okay, coming down the path we encountered a water obstacle, and it's too steep on that side and too steep on this side, so the options are get naked and walk through, or scramble up this and over and then pick up the cairns on the other side. Just got to put one foot in front of the other.
I don't know how, if you can help me. I can just walk just behind you. Okay.
Want to push?
Hey, that's my butt. Keep your hands off that.
I am just, thank you.
I'm obviously kidding. So you look like you're...
Just taking the photos.
Yeah, looks like you're ready to go swimming.
Great photos.
Yeah, I think this is a winner, no doubt.
Oh man.
Where are y'all from?
I'm from Norway.
Ah, Norwich.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Enjoy. Of what?
Stop filming my inadequacies.
You're doing great. I mean, look at what you're doing. I guess we could have waded through. The swim probably would have felt nice at this point. Okay, those are examples of the fins we just scrambled over. And then the valley opens up a little bit here. And we are, I think, on the easier part of the trail now. All right, looks like snack time on the log. In the shade. Currently 11 a.m. We're 4 hours into this. It's been a particularly slow hike because of all the viewpoints and awestruck moments. What do you think, Ruthie?
Oh, it's been pretty awesome.
It has indeed. The Hoodoo City, and it actually looks like fins.
Upside down keels.
Upside down keels. They're sailing in the sky.
I never get enough water.
Staying hydrated. Gotta check out this little perch I'm on here. We've got juniper trees throughout, provide decent shade, and this one even has a little horizontal log to sit on. Okay, we've rejoined the main trail, and Ruth's got some fire in her afterburners there, and we're finishing strong here. This is the Broadway trail that leads into the first arch. That's more of a nature hike than anything else. But once you get past the first major arch, it gets pretty intense, and this tends to be the people that are just doing the whole park and seeing a bunch of arches and taking short hikes from their car. So we are almost back to the beginning of the trail, and I think that's a wrap for this one. So this is the end of the road at Arches National Monument. It's several miles in, I'd say 5, 6, maybe 10 miles, all the way into the end of the road, and then it's back out again. So it's an in and out, and so this is kind of the last short hike. This is the Devil's Garden Trail, and it is a short hike, almost a nature walk into the first arch, and then after that it's extremely rugged, and you can do a loop that goes up to 7 miles. So let's just hope some of these tourists don't get overzealous and try try to do that on a 103-degree day starting at noon. We just finished our hike, and it was 4.5 hours, and we missed the worst of the crowds. We started at 7 a.m. Trail was relatively sparse considering this is a national park, and 4.5 hours, 7.2 miles, did loop. It was excellent. Definitely one for the record books. That's a bucket list hike for sure. All right, we got some Columbia plates in the parking lot. These are some serious distance touring motorcyclists, and they've been through California, I guess, and Sequoia National Park, and they get flags from Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, etc., etc., etc. Whoa, there's some European ones: Spain, France, Switzerland, Germany, Austria. Looks like fun. Oh, can't forget Smokey the Bear, be the man. Alright, so we are leaving Arches National Park and going down the descent to the bottom of the rift. It was created by the Moab fault, so off in the distance you see Moab there. And we got zigzaggy roads going down to the visitor center. We got the medium.
Watch the movie and then you can write something you learned while you were watching the movie.
And we did
Are you guys good
a
artists?
double O. So we
Find a pretty
did
place.
this we did the two difficult ones. Okay, if you're a little tiny mouse, you got to be tough. And apparently this guy is. He'll bury the beetles upside down in the ground and bite their heads off. And he bites off the tails of the scorpions and then eats them head first. He's a tough little rat, man. Woo!
Silhouetted against the horizon, an almost alien landscape haunts the night sky. Even though the ancient sandstone seems solid, yet the very same processes that create arches destroy them. In geologic terms, today's landscape is as ephemeral as a passing summer rain. What we see in arches will never be repeated in precisely the same way as here and now, in our window in time.
So we're at the visitor center, and then there's a road that leads into the park, 18 miles long. Here's the trail we took to Delicate Arch. And we went up here to the end, stayed a night in the campground, and then took this trail here, Devil's Garden. Did the loop all the way around and saw these arches along the way. Beautiful trip. So after our hike at Arches, we decided to stop at a hostel where we could get a shower. This is the Lazy Lizard. There. And here's the place. It is a hostel, as you can see up through the trees there. And here's the office. It's a funky, rustic kind of place. Kind of fun. Get some barbecues and a little table down there. Nice tree. People hanging out in the front yard doing internet. Back from their day's activities, hiking and biking and whatever else. And it's a cute little hostel. It's kind of fun. Anyway, they got some great showers, so it's where we're taking them on our way back to Colorado. And tell me your name again. Amy from Australia. Doesn't mind being on YouTube. And Mike from Australia. And your name, ma'am?
Joanne.
Joanne from?
California.
Oh, California. That's a nice place.
New York.
Mitch from New York. What part of New York?
Upstate.
Upstate New York. Which upstate?
Albany.
Albany. Oh wow, like the capital then.